And what's good, ladies and gentlemen? We're back with another promo for our 100th episode celebration lot-a-thon, because I'm making up words at this point because I can do that. We have yet another guest who's from my prestigious groups of friends. I only hang out with people who are better than me because that's how you get better. Today, I'm going to introduce somebody who has more accolades than I can read about because Twitter only gives her so much room for the bio. She's been more places and done more things than I can dream about, mainly because I don't remember my dreams, but that's another story for another day. I have with me Renee Washington of the DC sports scene, because the Philly scene is a whole different story. Let me break it down for y'all. She is a host on a radio show up there. She is a news anchor and reporter. She does both. And to top it all off, she's an author. She does everything that I'm not good at. So that's why I have her on the show. Renee, how's it going?
JB, you are hilarious. Thank you so much for having me on. It's quite an intro for sure. You are very talented in your own right. So stop putting yourself down and make me feel better. But I'm happy to be here.
See, we don't put ourselves down here. We just tell the truth. And once again, hey, I ain't nothing till I do something. But the best thing I've done is make it to 100 episodes. We have not been canceled yet.
Some people can say. There you go.
Not from people's lack of trying, I might add. But on the Ignant show, we don't care about none of that. So we'll get into the nitty gritty, honestly, right now, because Renee, you have something and done something that a lot of Americans can't say they've done. Growing up in Texas, we're a huge football state. And in the last few years, we've become more of a basketball place too that people don't realize. But you, my friend, were a soccer All-American. Football for my international listeners. What was that like? Because I've met a bunch of high-level football players, a bunch of high-level basketball players. I'm related to one. But I've never met a high-level soccer player. What was that like?
It was interesting. It was definitely an experience. And you know what? I fully don't think I understood just how incredible it was in the moment. I was just enjoying playing. You know, that's the craziest part of it all is I wasn't setting out to be an All-American. I was just setting out to play the game that I loved. So in that moment, of course, any accolades were exciting, but it just continued to raise the bar for me as I got different awards. You know, it starts off on the local, you know, conference awards and then regional awards and then national awards. I'm like, wait a minute, what is happening here? So it definitely caught me by surprise. It was just incredible to see the way that all of the work that I had done over the years was really coming together, because I wasn't expected to be on that stage. You know, I exceeded a lot of expectations from others. So to be able to not once, but 3 times be an All-American was just a surreal moment. And honestly just gave me so much confidence in who I am and who I am as a person, and really just what's possible. You know, I didn't come from a soccer family in that sense. I come from a sports family, but not a soccer family. I didn't come from money where I was able to pay for all the best trainers and camps and teams. And I also came from a team where my dad coached me my entire youth soccer career. So as a Black girl playing a sport, and that in itself was something that was a challenge, but it definitely allowed me to just see what's possible, learn a lot about myself, and just have a lot of more of a growth mindset that I feel like I still carry today. So if anything, it helped me more for life as an adult than in that moment, if that makes sense.
Of course, because from what a lot of people don't understand, especially the ignorant Americans we tend to be from time to time, we don't understand that soccer in this country is ultimately, it's a rich kid's game.
It is.
They have the access to the best trainers, to the best teams, and for what a lot of people may not know or get, recruiting from a soccer standpoint, it doesn't really come from your high school for the most part.
No.
It comes from a high-level club team that you play for.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have the access or the resources to go to these big tournaments or play for these big organizations to get your face in front of the right people, you might be stuck out. And
Bingo.
we already understand there's not a large black population that plays soccer, at least not in this part of the world. And for you to do what you did out there is amazing. And for someone who had to learn his respect for soccer the hard way, believe me, I get it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I had to learn that goal is a lot bigger than it looks. And I was talking smack to the goalie once. He said you should give it a try. Never again.
Yeah.
That's, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know how hard soccer is, go be a goalie for a day. For an hour. Go be a goalie. You'll learn to shut up. But just because you were an All-American in soccer, that does not make you better than me in the athletic realm. Absolutely it does. Stop listening to the things that I say, ladies and gentlemen. I just clickbait y'all. That's what I do best. But we have to move on to something that I think is a little more exciting for you at this moment, because you are within the DC sports realm. The DC area, the whole DMV, is a very interesting place if you've never been there. And I've never been there. I just know the stories. So would you be able to tell me, what is your favorite thing about the DC sports scene? What makes it click? What makes it different from anywhere else in the country?
Yeah, so I've been fortunate that I have worked in this area, for years now, between Philly, Jersey, DC, and New York. It's kind of like my region of sports coverage on the college and the professional level. So for DC and the DMV in general, I've actually been able to cover and work with, the Washington football team, the Washington Wizards, the Washington Mystics, and be involved and even talking about and following all the other sports too. I follow the Capitals and the Nationals. So I think the biggest thing for me was I came in fully when the Mystics won the WNBA championship. That was my first season. And so being a part of that a couple years back and being able to just see the way that the city is so much similar to actually a lot of what I dealt with growing up as a Philly sports fan, where you've got some very passionate fans, you've got fans that are ride or die fans, because unfortunately in DC sports, although there have been some championships lately, have had their ups and downs. So I think that passion and honestly, even the amount of people that have reached out to me, I have Washington sports fans, the DC sports fans from all over the world that have reached out to me in some capacity and been very, just so welcoming and supportive and follow me. And so the fan base in the DMV is real. It's very serious. It's very intense. They're passionate. They will stick by their teams through the ups, the downs, and everything in between. And they are just very consistent. So I think that is something that you don't always see in other fan bases, especially in big cities. Washington, D.C. is obviously the capital, but in general, it is a big city, although it's not as big of a sports city as maybe like in LA or Boston. You look at all that goes on in the DMV, it's major. So for a major city within our world to have, several teams, and although the teams range in success, the fans are very consistent. So I've connected with fans from down in Mexico and then different parts of the country and all over the world. So to be able to have that international, and that was the first thing when I connected with the fans that were living in Mexico, that are huge diehard Washington football fans. That's when I was like, okay, this is real. So they've got a very strong, supportive, international fan base of ride or die fans that are passionate, and will stick by their teams through it all. So that's something that I really admire about just the sports teams in general and the vibe that they bring.
Isn't that what we love about sports? How it connects you to a team for whatever reason? Because some of our connections to sports, they're for varied reasons. Some of it is just from geography. Hey, I grew up here, so I should like them. Some of it they have Some of it, they have a favorite player who just happened to play there and end up there. Said, well, he's there. Might as well root for him or her. Or for the simple fact, I don't like the team that's their rival, so I'm going to roll with them.
Exactly.
And being in DC, me being from the Dallas area, I am not a Cowboy fan. No, I'm not a Cowboy fan. I would never stoop myself to be that low.
I appreciate that.
Cowboy fans listening, it's not the first time I've insulted y'all. And it won't be the last. Win another playoff game while I'm alive, and then we'll get to talk. But my connection to the football team specifically is you guys actually have a Hall of Famer who is not only from my city, we are from the same neighborhood, from the same 5 blocks, actually.
Wow, I didn't know that part.
Man, Charlie Taylor. He's a hard man to get a hold of. And one day it's going to happen. I feel like I can make it happen.
You got it.
Yes, the whole DC area is an interesting place, especially in that region where it's not fully a state, it's a city, but you have the love and support of multiple different states. Virginia technically doesn't have a team. Maryland, the whole state doesn't like the Ravens simply because the DMV is such an adjacent area. Well, that's what the M stands for. And then you have your other northeastern states. You have your Delawares. Everybody in Massachusetts is not a Patriot fan, despite what Boston may think. And then you have the New York teams who, let's face it, nobody wants to be a fan of the Jets. Nobody. If you are a Jets fan, why? Joe Namath is gone. Curtis Martin is not walking through that door anytime soon. But it's great to see that kind of connection that you can make with the fandom and the city because the two go hand in hand. So while we were being a little serious, I do have a question to ask. I have gotten recent information from one of my friends who just enrolled at Georgetown. The food in DC is pretty good. But is there food that you are not touching with a 12-foot pole that somebody paid you and got on their knees and begged?
I've been trying to, I don't know about this one. I think there's just certain animals that I don't think I could find myself eating. Like how deep down south they'll eat like squirrels and different different rodents and things. I think that's where I draw the line. I love my basics, chicken, pork. But there's certain ones that I've heard of, like crocodile or alligator or squirrel or
wait.
like different.
Gators.
I don't know what's real. I don't know what's fake. Even like deer, I don't think I can. Now venison apparently is really good. I don't know. I just, I don't know. There's a line. I'm not at all a vegan or vegetarian or anything. I respect people whose lifestyles are, but I'm also not the other side of that spectrum either. I am happily in the middle. So I think for me, it's animals is where I draw the line. Like I think I don't like sushi right now, but I would try it. I wouldn't go as extreme and say I would never ever touch it. I would try it. But there are certain animals that where I draw the line.
Gator isn't even abnormal. Gator is bigger.
I don't know. If it's sold strictly in Southern restaurants and you cannot find it in this area, there's the line. That's my gauge of it.
I mean, if that's the game you want to play, you eat oranges and apples. They're not grown anywhere near DC.
No. I mean, like if it's not sold, like you're not gonna go to a local restaurant in my area and they're serving like gator. That's gator? Not gonna happen. Not that I know of. So
that's great.
Yeah, see, there's the difference. So sorry. Nope. Certain animals and rodents and nope.
No one's eating squirrel and rabbit on the regular. They're not that bad.
But they do. So that's where I draw the line.
Look, you know.
Someone somewhere is eating a squirrel, probably as we speak. And I want to throw up at the thought of it.
I don't deny that.
Yeah. So
I've had smoked turtle.
yeah, no.
It's pretty good.
Everybody says everything tastes like chicken. Well, I'll just stick to the chicken then.
Okay. Oh, dear, would you give Bambi a try?
I don't know. I know it's a hard no for me.
There's got.
I'd be more likely to try deer than like squirrel or gator. So on the spectrum, like some of those, I don't know if people eat raccoons or possums, but I feel like somewhere somebody might eat anything that could attack me, that I should be scared of. I'm not going to eat. Like, I'm not scared of a chicken. I'm not scared of a pig or a cow. And they're just not as scary looking in that sense. Like, I
can agree with most of that.
I'm gonna throw up. That'll be part of your 100th show celebration.
We would play that over and over, and I would find a way to make it into a sound. It would be beautiful.
Yeah, no. We're not. Yeah, sorry. You asked.
I did.
That's my answer.
You're not wrong for a chunk of it.
I don't know if it's the fur. I don't know if it's the fact that they're just like animals that you, again, could attack you. Some of these, I don't know what it is. It just doesn't sit well with me.
I will tell you, don't play with a cow's baby, or it'll attack you. All right, and
it would, but I'd have to do something extreme, like mess with the calf for the cow to attack me. But if I was to walk anywhere near a gator, it's coming at me, and then I'm going to turn around and eat it. I just don't understand.
By my principle, that's why you eat it.
No.
I just say, I'll eat anything that won't eat me first. If it tries to eat me, I have to eat it out of principle. So, I know y'all looking at this in the background. Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
It's not just you. It's okay. It's not you. It's me. So it's cool.
I know where I stand on
this. The whole Deep South is very into, I just feel like any animal is edible. And I don't think that.
It's the Southern thing, man. I can't help it. Look, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know my status with the current organization of PETA. And they don't like when I have this conversation either. Renee, you may not know, but it's one of my crowning achievements. I am blocked by PETA on Twitter. It took some years. But anyway, we appreciate you for coming on the show and spending your time with us. Do you have any final thoughts you want to give to the people?
Not every animal is food. No, thank you so much for having me on. I'm just kidding. That was I don't even know how you take that. In all seriousness, thank you for having me on. Happy 100th. You're old, 100. Wow. And I'm happy to be a part of it. So thank you so much for squeezing me into your busy schedule as well, so we can make this happen and keep it going for 100 more.
That's the goal until they shut us down. And when they do, we'll be underground. So Renee, thank you for showing up again and very much appreciate you. You're smiling, all your input, even if it's wrong about the animals. That's beside the point. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in for another promo for the 100th episode. So like I said, at the end of every episode, keep learning, keep living, keep loving. 100th episode coming soon. We out.
The university.